Welcome everyone, my name is Blevin Robinson with West Coast Cajun Cuisine, and today's video, New Orleans style barbecue shrimp. Welcome to the channel everyone. If this is your first time here and you're interested in cooking authentic Cajun cuisine, comfort food, and even a dessert every now and then do me a favor, hit that subscription button, click that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Now, New Orleans style barbecue shrimp. Now when you hear barbecue shrimp, you might be thinking putting some shrimp on a grill, slapping some sauce on it, like you normally would do in any other barbecue, but this is far from that. No grill needed. This is just some shrimp cooked down, stovetop, in a skillet with butter, garlic, spices, Worcestershire sauce. I mean, there's many different variations of this recipe, but I'm going to show you mine. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and get to that recipe. Here you go, ladies and gentlemen. You can go ahead and pause it right here, write this down, or head over to westcoastcajun.com. The link will be in the description below, and download this recipe. What's up everybody? Welcome to the actual kitchen here. So we're gonna go ahead and get started on our sauce, and the sauce is what makes this dish. It is to die for, and so we're gonna start on that real quick. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little bit of butter here. So I wanna get my shallots going. I already had my pan heated up to about a medium heat or so. I wanna melt a little bit of butter. Let's go ahead and put another one in here. I'm gonna get that butter melted. I'm gonna add my shallot. Let's go ahead and just get the shallot in here and start cooking a little bit. Now this is gonna be a really savory dish. And once we get these shallots cooked down a little bit, what we're going to do is add our garlic. And if you've watched my other videos, you've seen that I've used, they already minced garlic and stuff out of the container. But for this dish, we want to keep it real deal, Holyfield here. All right, so let me get some garlic here. I got a few cloves I want to press into this. I love the garlic in this dish here. Okay, so once we get the garlic in here, I'm gonna let this cook down for a few minutes. We get that garlic to release all its oils and flavors. Oh man, if you could smell this right now. So this dish there's so many different ways to make it, right? This is my take on it. What I like to do is I take a bunch of different recipes of the same dish and I experiment with them. And I will make one to see how that turns out. And I will make the other and maybe mix and match a little bit here and there. Alright, let's go ahead and add. I'm going to add a 12-ounce beer, an amber beer. Now if you live in an area where you can find a Beta amber, it's a beer that they make in Louisiana from Abita Springs. If you can find a Beta amber, use that. Awesome. Turn my heat up just a little bit. I want to go ahead and get this starting to simmer some and cook down this alcohol and this beer a little bit. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to add a little bit of seasoning here. end. Alright, so we have this starting to come up to a simmer. And what we're going to do is add our Worcestershire sauce. Now this is, well, you cannot skip on this ingredient. The Worcestershire sauce is what makes this dish. Let's get that incorporated a little bit. We're going to go ahead and just give it a quick little mix. And then I'm going to add probably about 2.5 teaspoons of hot sauce. I got some good old Crystal Louisiana hot sauce here. I'm gonna go ahead and get this up to temp. Get that to start simmering here. And then what we're going to do is going to add our shrimp. And for our shrimp, what I have here is some whole head-on shrimp. Let's see if I can get that into focus. All right. I like the head-on shrimp because it almost makes us stock. And leaving the heads and the shells on, we're going to cook them in the shells in this sauce is going to give it so much flavor. And if you can't find shrimp, whole shrimp like this, then go ahead and get shrimp from your local market in the frozen section that's already peeled and deveined. That's fine. But if you can find whole shrimp, I would suggest using whole shrimp because it's going to just give this sauce so much flavor. All right, so now that we have that coming up to a nice almost boil here, let's put the heat down. I'm gonna start adding the shrimp. This is a good old classic dish down there in Louisiana. Most of your downtown restaurants, seafood restaurants, will sell this. Most of your high-end places, but this is very, very popular in that area. And there's quite a few places in like Mississippi, Texas, Alabama, even in Florida, there's places like that some Cajun restaurants and stuff like that are taking some of these cuisines and using there in those areas. So New Orleans influence has branched out quite a bit in that southern hemisphere. All right. Now you can see that these shrimp are already, I'm going to get one turned up, starting to pinken up, see? Oh man, this is going to be so good. So what we're going to do is let this cook a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and add some more of that seasoning. I'm going to let this cook down, get these shrimp nice and opaque. Let it soak up some of this flavor. And then we'll start adding the butter. And the butter is going to give it that richness and thicken up this sauce. And we'll talk about that once we get to it. Alright, we'll separate it right here. I'm going to let that cook a little bit. Now I'm probably going to cook this maybe, 5-10 minutes or so. Some of these shrimp here need to be flipped. Get them in here. Start to get them to cook on the other side. Some of these shrimp are submerged into the sauce, so they'll be just fine. I usually cook a lot more than this right here, but no one's here. But my daughter, she's in the back room, and as soon as she's seen the heads on the shrimp, she was disgusted. She's not used to that type of stuff. Usually here, I'm about 2 hours from the nearest ocean. So as far as fresh seafood goes, it's hard to find in this area. I had to actually go to a specialty store and find this. My local Latin market had whole shrimp, and when I found that out, look, had to do it. This is gonna be ridiculous. All right, so shrimp are starting to cook just fine. We're gonna let this sit for a good. I'm gonna have this down to about a medium. I just want it to simmer. I'm only gonna let this cook for probably 10 minutes at the most. I want to see pink throughout the entire shrimp. And then once we get to that point, we'll start adding the butter and finish this up. So be right back. All right, we're back. And oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, if you could smell this, this is ridiculous. All right, right here, my shrimp aren't exactly cooked all the way through, but they're close. At this point, what I want to do is add, I have about a tablespoon, or teaspoon, sorry, of fresh chopped rosemary. And the rosemary really brings out a unique flavor to this dish. Some places you go, they will use rosemary, some places don't. Some places don't use the shallot, some places do. It just kind of depends. Like I said earlier, I like to take a bunch of different recipes and just experiment with them and mash them all together and just make something that I enjoy, that I like, right? That's the whole point of cooking. Look, I have a bunch of recipes and stuff on my website, and you don't have to, you know, feel free to just experiment with them. You don't have to follow them to a T. Following them down to the, you know, last ingredient is how we like to eat it. Maybe you're a little bit different. Maybe it might be a, you know, you want to cut down on some of the spice a little bit. Who knows? Feel free to experiment. I mean, that's what's so great about cooking. That's what I love about cooking. I have very few recipes that I just created, right? They've all came from other recipes. Now I might have taken a recipe of something that I like. Let's say a couple videos ago I did a Cajun chicken pasta, and I actually constructed that recipe from a dish called Creole chicken. So I mean, there's so many things that you can do, you know, with cooking. All right, now this is starting to look really good here. Oh man, it smells so good. This is ridiculous. All right. Yep, that rosemary is starting to cook down a little bit. All right, I'm gonna give this another 2 or 3 minutes, and then we're gonna start adding our butter. All right, this is looking about how I want it. And so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the butter. And it's important that when you start to add the butter, that you keep this moving, because you want the butter to emulsify. You don't want it to break down and separate. You just want it to emulsify and bring the sauce together. So we're just going to add a little bit of butter at a time. We're just going to get this all moved around, mixed in. And then once we get this kind of melted, I'm going to add more butter until we get a good consistency that we like. Gonna keep on grabbing some butter here and just keep putting it in. Man, my lord, if you could smell, this is ridiculous. If you could smell this. Oh, look at that. Look at this. Oh man. All right, so what I want to do now is make sure I have enough seasoning in here. So I'm gonna taste that. Let me get a little taste test here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, let's add a little bit more seasoning. Wasn't sure if I was going to use the whole thing of seasoning, but looks like we are. Let's get that moved around a little bit in there, like that. Now it looks, I do have quite a bit of sauce here. Like I said, this recipe I usually would have more shrimp, but I'm the only one that's going to eat it right now, so I didn't make that much. But the best thing about this is not only do you get to dip your shrimp in this sauce, the bread. Oh, we're gonna serve this with French bread. And I don't know what's better, the shrimp or the bread dipped in this sauce. It's ridiculous. Okay, I'm gonna remove this from the heat. go ahead and cover this. It's time to plate up, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and take some of the shrimp right here. Place them in this bowl. And yes, this is a big bowl. That's how I like it. Take the sauce here. Oh yeah. Oh, man, the smell is just ridiculous. Put that in there like that. Serve a little French bread on the side. Bam. And there you go. This is just a good all down, get dirty kind of meal. Because you gotta peel your shrimp. Oh yeah. Get you a couple of layers of the shell off here. Like so. You're gonna get down and pinch this tail at the very end. Pull that shrimp out of there. How do you devein it at this point if you need to devein it? And here we go, nice shrimp. Get it all up in that sauce right there. Oh my Lord. Oh my gosh. And you take your bread. Get it all sloppy and yummy. This is so good, it straight up make you want to slap your mama when I'm teaching you how to cook this when she was younger. My Lord. Well, that's barbecue shrimp, ladies and gentlemen. We'll go ahead and cut this back to the studio because I'm about to dig in. Later. That about wraps this one up, ladies and gentlemen. If you like what you just saw, then do me a favor and give us a thumbs up. Don't forget, subscribe, notification bell, all that stuff. So, if you're not a member of the West Coast Cajun Cuisine Facebook page, links are down below. Go check us out. Like the page. I put different kinds of information and updates and different things there. It's just another way that I can keep in communication with you guys. And last week, I put a poll up between two different dishes. One was blackened chicken, and the other was beer braised short ribs. And I want you guys to vote on those two dishes, and whichever one wins will be next week's video. And I think right now, as the last time I checked, blackened chicken was winning. So go ahead and go vote for which video you would like to see next. And then the following weekend will be the video that didn't win the vote. So you will get to see both, but it just depends on which one you would like to see first. So go ahead, check us out on Facebook, and till next week.